Today we're looking at Groveland, Florida on the map as far as its location, what it's near, what it's around, and drive times, and more. Welcome back to Unlocking Central Florida from Orlando to Tampa and everywhere in between. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Jake, and if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the future, there's information linked below the video. So here's Groveland, Florida on the map. Groveland's located to the west of Claremont, and then if you go further east from Groveland, you go to Orlando and the entire Orlando metro, and then Groveland is located north of Polk City, and if you go further down to the south, you got Auburndale, and then if you go down I-4 to the west, you got Lakeland, and that takes you out to Tampa. And then to the north of Groveland, you have Ocala. So that's where Groveland's located, right in the middle of the state, over by Claremont, not too far from Claremont. And then if you look at the outline of Groveland, Groveland is a pretty broad area. It's pretty rural. It spans out pretty wide. It's mostly located to the west of Claremont, but then it spans up to the north, going up west of Mineola, where Mineola goes up to the north as well. And that is the region of Claremont. It's a pretty big region, pretty rural, spanning out where not as many people live and there's not as many major hubs in this area. But then taking a closer look at Groveland, there isn't as much of a major hub as many of the other parts of Central Florida and many of the other towns and cities, but there are quite a few different stores and shops along the highways, and there's also quite a few different highways going through Groveland that can take you different directions leaving Groveland. That makes it somewhat convenient for commutes. Even though it's further out on the edge of Central Florida, it does have at least several different highways. You got Highway 19, Highway 50, and Highway 33, and with those highways, there's quite a few different stores located along those highways, kind of spread out, but still some decent options. But if you're looking to go to a major hub where you have more of a downtown area and have more things to do and just more people and just more social events, you have Claremont, and you would probably go towards Claremont, not too far away. And if you're looking for even more than that, then you might go towards the theme parks in Orlando, further away. But you're not too far from Claremont, so at least that is convenient. But that is pretty much it for hubs. There's not much of a major hub, different stores and stuff around, but everything's somewhat spread out, somewhat along the highways. And there are, of course, as you can see, quite a few different lakes throughout the entire region of Groveland. There's some bigger lakes and smaller lakes, pretty normal for Central Florida and Florida in general, but in this region especially, there's a lot of lakes and beautiful scenery, trails, and some more hills in this area as well. So it is a very nice area to visit, and that kind of gives you the idea of where Groveland is on the map as it relates to the rest of Central Florida right there to the west of Claremont. You can see it's out on the edge. It's further away from, of course, Orlando, the airport, and Disney, but it's not terribly far. And then looking at drive times, if you're going during the busy part of the day, going from Groveland to, say, Epcot, going to Disney, you're looking at about a 45 to about an hour or hour and a half drive. If it's busy in the high traffic time of day. There are some options where you pay tolls, and there are some options where it says tolls, but reality is you just have to pay for parking, or you have to have an annual pass with Disney to be able to park there for essentially free, but it's part of the pass. So if you're going to Disney, it's a further drive, but not a terrible drive compared to if you live in a whole nother state or a whole nother part of the state. You're still in the region. It's still a reasonable drive. In a less busy part of the day, you can get there in under 45 minutes. And then if you're going from Groveland to Orlando during the morning in the busier part where you've got that rush hour traffic, you're looking at about a 50-minute drive to an hour 50-minute drive. So a little under an hour to a little under 2 hours going from Groveland to Orlando. A lot of people take these highways going across, going to Orlando, and actually if you look to the north, if you go all the way up around, it's about the same drive time going to the north, going all the way around, taking the long way around to go to Orlando. So there's different ways to get around, but of course that's a much further, less efficient route. There's usually less traffic taking that way. So if you have to commute to Orlando, it's probably going to be a bit far unless you're okay with having a long drive and are okay with some busier traffic, especially if you're going during working hours but with Orlando, traffic can kind of be bad at random times anyways. Once you get to know Orlando, sometimes it can be decent and sometimes it can just be bad in random times of day and random days of the week. You just never really know for sure. And then if you're going to the airport, it's anywhere from an hour to up to 2.5 hours going from Groveland to the airport. So quite the drive if you have to travel a lot. But that gives you some idea of some of the drive times. It's pretty far out from some of the major hubs and areas in Central Florida. So if you need to be closer to Orlando and the airport, knowing that traffic can be bad if you have to travel from afar, then Groveland might not be the right fit. But that kind of gives you an idea of where Groveland is located in the Central Florida region. So what you can expect for drive times if you're driving in the busier part of the day. And also drive times can just go up any time of day when you're driving through Central Florida. Not exactly if you're out over in Groveland, but if you're going through some of these busier areas, going from Claremont through Winter Garden and then on to Orlando, going through some of those busier areas, it's a little bit less predictable. There might not be quite as many tourists, but there's still quite a bit of density, and there's still a decent amount of tourists and people who visit these areas as well. So it can definitely get busy, and you can definitely expect traffic to sometimes tick up even in the less busy times of the day, unless you're going later at night. And even then, sometimes it can be unpredictable. But that gives you an idea of what some of the drive times are and where it's located on the map and what to expect of Groveland, Florida. And then looking at homes that are currently for sale in Groveland and looking at what you can expect on the map as far as what's currently for sale in Groveland, there's a decent number of options under $250,000, decently spread out through the region of Groveland. Just a broad, quick look at Groveland and what you can expect at the lowest price points. Then looking at the price range of $250,000 to $500,000, there's a decent range of options, even more spread out throughout the entire region of Groveland. Quite a few different options throughout the whole region. If you're looking in that price range, you'll have a decent number of options and could pretty much go anywhere in the region. This is just including homes, not including land for sale, both for this one and for the under $250,000 price point. And then at $500,000 or more, looking at the higher priced homes, there still is a decent range of options throughout the entire region of Groveland, more in the central region of Groveland, but still somewhat spread out through Groveland. And that gives you just a quick idea of what's for sale, where the homes are, what some of the prices are, taking just a quick broad look. I can't show you exactly examples of what's for sale on here, but if you're interested in buying a home anywhere in the Central Florida region, definitely feel to reach out and we'd be happy to help you narrow it down and to find the right home and to help you refine your home search. And also there's information linked below this video, both in the description and in the comments, with some helpful tools and resources for you to use. That's all for this map tour of Groveland, Florida. Thanks for watching, and now watch the market report for Groveland, Florida on the screen now.